In the early 20th century, psychoanalysis created a revolution in how we consider the human brain. The writings of Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung began exploring the notions and impulses of the unconscious mind. This study of human behaviors seemed like the ultimate new horizon for knowledge. The Surrealists were the first of many groups of artists who took interest in this new frontier. As with Dada, Surrealism was an international movement. Surrealism also represented a step back from pictorial abstraction. All of the modernist movements from Impressionism through Futurism had been in the pursuit of denying aspects of pictorial illusion. This includes the Expressionists' abstractions from life and the Cubists' flattening of the picture plane. Many of the Surrealists wanted to present a pictorial reality that resembled our own. Elements of depiction such as value, proportions, and local color reference the classical training that was taught in the European academic tradition. Rather than undermine this training, these artists wanted to exploit its ability to convey information. The name Surrealism literally means beyond realism. The reality of the mind seemed purer than any mere visual reality. Giorgio de Chirico was an Italian painter whose work preceded that of the Surrealists. In this painting, entitled The Mystery and Melancholy of the Street, the silhouette of a child runs across the foreground in front of white buildings that seem to stretch imposingly into the distance. Near the horizon, the looming shadow of a figure approaches. Things in this image are familiar in their appearance. Through representation, we immediately recognize the subject matter. However, its content appears more like something from a dream than from waking reality. Possibly one of the most recognizable of the Surrealists was the Spanish painter Salvador Dali. In his paintings, Dali attempted to translate images directly from his dreams. The early psychoanalysts, namely Carl Jung, put great importance on the ability of dreams to tell us things about ourselves that we repress during our waking lives. According to Jung's theory, there are certain archetypes and symbols that transcend our individual experiences. Some of these archetypes are thought to be particular to a specific culture, and some are thought to be universal to human experience. In this painting, The Persistence of Memory, for example, we recognize the symbol of the clock as being representative of the passage of time. This is due to the fact that in our Western culture, we are familiar with the function of such timepieces. The dead tree, however, is closer to being a universal archetype. Because trees exist nearly everywhere that humans do, an image of a dead tree will almost always symbolize death or the passage of time. Dali took great care to document what he remembered from his dreams. He did this by keeping dream journals and sketchbooks by his bedside. Directly after awakening, he would sketch to recall the specific events and imagery from his dreams. This incredibly descriptive painting by Dali is appropriately entitled Dream Caused by the Flight of a Bee Around a Pomegranate, a Second Before Awakening. Of course, dreams are often too abstract and nonlinear to ever be directly translated. Even if Dali remembered all of these images and events from his night's sleep, he would still have needed to make generalizations and take certain creative liberties. A painting like this can be seen as an attempt to compress a living, changing dream reality onto a two-dimensional surface like a painting. Dali's earlier work seemed to be more concerned with representing things the way that they are actually viewed in our dream reality. Forms are a composite of things from our waking reality, and everything appears to be in a constant state of transformation. Freudian notions of violence and sexual impulse evade throughout. This later piece by Dali, entitled Disintegration of the Persistence of Memory, serves as a clever allusion to the nature of dreams. They are not a physical reality like the one that we inhabit. When we feel that we are on familiar ground, it crumbles away, exposing the endless recess of our minds.